On the news at this hour, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has called on state governments in Adamawa, Bauchi and Gombe to put in place better social policy as a way of tackling child poverty. The UN agency made the call during a two-day meeting held in Gombe, organized by the Bauchi Field Office of UNICEF with experts on social policy as well as journalists from the three states. It was gathered that during the meeting, the participants were exposed to issues that trigger child poverty, which has become a major threat to children's well-being and future. UNICEF Social Policy Specialist Dr. Yusuf Auta made a presentation on child poverty and its drivers, as well as the multi-dimensional child poverty in Adamawa, Bauchi and Gombe states, using recent poverty statistics as it affects children. Now, civil society organizations and human rights lawyers and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to save the image of Nigeria by not prosecuting political battles that are counterproductive to the robust anti-corruption policy of the President Bola Tinubu-led administration. The activists and lawyers under the broad umbrella of the Committee for the Defense of Democracy and Rule of Law noted that the seeming fixation of the anti-graft agency on particular targets fierce media trial and a network of opposition figures publicly displaying their affinity with the Commission on particular matters, especially reflected political hatchet jobs that must be discouraged. The co-convener of the committee, Barrister Kayode Mogbojori, who spoke on behalf of the over 100 CSOs at a press conference in Abuja yesterday, said the EFCC could not afford to become a tool of political witch hunt in the hands of every disgruntled politician seeking political retribution against opponents or perceived enemies, and advised the helmsman, Ola Olukoyede, to shut out real enemies of the Commission. The Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, says it will investigate the alleged unauthorized access to the personal data of enrollees by the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. This was disclosed by NDPC National Commissioner Dr. Vincent Olatunji in a statement signed by Head of Legal Enforcement and Regulations of NDPC, Babatunde Bamigboe. According to media report, Olatunji recorded that the NDPC had been engaging with the NIMC on fostering data protection adequacy and consequently had a workshop in February. Olatunji further noted that those who were found culpable of violating the Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023 will be brought to justice. Away from Nigeria, on the foreign scene, hundreds of people in Cuba's second largest city, Santiago, staged a public protest on Sunday over chronic power blackouts and food shortages. The island is facing its worst economic crisis for 3 decades, with large parts of Cuba being left without power for more than 14 hours a day. Videos on social media show people chanting power and food. Its president blames the situation on U.S. sanctions, but critics say it is down to government mismanagement. According to reports, since 1960, the U.S. has maintained an economic embargo against Cuba, which puts strict rules on trade between the countries. The economy in Cuba, a communist-run island with a population of about 11 million, has been in dire straits in recent years. In sport, Trabzonspor fans ran onto the field and attacked Fenerbahce players after Sunday's Super League match. Fenerbahce players were met with violence as they celebrated a 3-2 victory at Papara Park in Trabzon. Fenerbahce's Bright Osayi Samuel and Michi Batshuayi both tried to intervene as security services entered the field. That's it for the news at this hour. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up at 2, a story time with Ridwan Musa Gao. I am Omo with a piece of Semere.